The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation kicked off its two-day Goalkeepers event in New York, highlighting the work of activists or goalkeepers tackling some of the world's most pressing problems. UK singer Ed Sheeran may have been one of the most recognizable faces at the event, but the focus was squarely on young people.
I'm not one of these young people, but I do remember what it was like to be rebellious and have new ideas.
New ideas that the Gates Foundation hopes young people will use to help meet the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set forth by the United Nations in 2015. Goals that include eradicating extreme poverty, hunger, and infectious diseases by 2030. One geographical area featured the most prominently at this year's Goalkeepers Awards, and that is sub-Saharan Africa. That's because so many of the world's biggest challenges are centered in that area. The Gates Foundation predicts that by 2050, almost 90% of the world's extreme poor will be living in sub-Saharan Africa. That's because the region is plagued by climate change, instability, and gender inequality, all while experiencing a population boom. But according to French President Emmanuel Macron, that population growth may also give the continent a competitive edge.
The future of an African young is not to leave Africa. The future of an African young people is not to hope to become like a European and American of the 80s. It's to become an African of the 21st century.
In the annual Goalkeepers report, China was cited for its achievements in alleviating extreme poverty. According to the World Bank, the number of people in China living on less than $1.90 has dropped by more than 800 million over the past 4 decades.
China really drove the first wave of extreme poverty reduction, and it's quite phenomenal how over about a 20-year period they drove the rate of extreme poverty down dramatically.
China has targeted 2020 as the year to eliminate extreme poverty completely. Macron is also looking to China to take a strong leadership role in fighting climate change.
China is more and more committed on climate change. They decided to have a carbon pricing and a carbon market. So I think we can have much more results if we have this sort of special relation on climate.
Relationships, leadership, inspiration. That's what this gathering of goalkeepers was all about. Karina Huber, CGTN, New York.